Adding movement to an unsafe move is one of several ways you can make a move safe, by moving out of range fast enough that they can't punish. You don't always have to rely on the frame data of moves to make them safe. Some examples of this are Puff drifting out of range or completely through an opponent after an aerial, or Luigi using his low friction to move him out of range after his attack hits a shield. This light shield achieves the same result as getting hit with Slide Off DI. It lets you recover quickly, and in this situation allows Zane to counterattack. Doing this with Light Shield, and optionally with Shield DI as well, allows Zane to counterattack the failed punish without needing to eat a hit at all. I'm not sure that Axe could survive this with SDI, but it's worth pointing out that when you're high above the stage getting dared by Marth, the trajectory DI starts to become more important than the SDI. One SDI and TDI straight towards the stage gets you more distance than two SDI with diagonal TDI, which would be preferred if you were lower down to the stage where the TDI has less time to make a difference. This is a great use of Slide Off DI, allowing Zane to recover easily, avoiding any more potential nairs or up airs from Pikachu. You can do this simply by holding diagonal down and away on the control stick and down on the C stick. Dolphin Slash is one of Marth's most consistent kill moves. It's important for Marth players to get used to the precise spacing for it, as it is a great tool for getting kills in situations where no other move is a guaranteed kill. You should pretty much always option select an OMS attack during long moves that could be punished. In a situation like this, it can prevent death and pretty much reset to neutral for just a small amount of damage. This Nair from Pikachu is slightly ambiguous and also hard to punish. I don't know if there's anything that leads to a guaranteed punish from Marth here, so instead of trying something and getting counter hit by Axe's follow-up attack, Zane instead just takes stage control, resetting back to neutral. This is a great example of how slight drift can make a huge difference. Axe still greatly drifted in, increasing his attack range towards the center as he wanted, but the tiny little drift back at the end is unreactable, so Zane went to punish full drift in and missed, leading to an opening for Axe. Here's another slide off. This one is similar to the last, and had Zane not done this, he would be in a tough spot with a huge edgeguard opportunity for Axe to take the set. Instead, this allowed him to get back relatively easily. It's not super easy, but with practice you can SDI out of Pikachu's down smash. It can still sometimes put you in a bad spot, but it is usually preferred over taking the full damage and normal trajectory. Here's another attempt by Zane for Slide Off DI, though this time it failed. He could have avoided the spot dodge by either releasing C-Stick down, which is buffering the spot dodge, or not holding shield, in which case the C down input does nothing. Here's another example of SDIing Pikachu's down smash. This time it allowed Zane to get out, taking only 9% from a smash attack opening. Once again we see Slide Off being implemented by Zane, again successfully bringing him to safety and leading to a big opening. Moki could have done a better job at recovering here. If you ride the wall, you can simply mash SDI and it's very easy to get the ledge tech here, which can lead into a few different recovery choices that are much harder for Falcon to deal with, such as instant side B. Moki could have also gone for very slight angles either near horizontally or near vertically to alter the timing that Wizzrobe has to stomp at, giving him the smallest margin for success possible. Getting stomped 4 times at 58% leading into another edgeguard and death is far from what you want as Fox here. This get up attack from Moki is pretty smart because Fox's get up attack starts breaking crouch cancel at 107%. Unfortunately, because he hesitated, Wizzrobe had time to realize crouch cancel doesn't work here, and also read that Moki would go for a get up attack. Unfortunately, get up attack on shield in this situation is punishable by knee, so a get up roll in might have been preferable, though it's all reads of course. Wizzy's execution here is just great. This stomp is good, but the follow-up edgeguard is not. Wizzrobe seems to like to stay on the stage a lot while edgeguarding, but in some situations such as this, you have to recognize that your opponent is dead if you grab the ledge. If he simply rolled, Fox is dead, and had Fox up B'd a little higher, he could use an attack like a rising stomp or a reverse knee to close out the edgeguard. This shield poke is actually crazy. Moki shielded for a fraction of a second, and Wizzy was able to shield poke the top of Fox's head with back air. I suppose spacing this back air to poke Fox is something you could practice as Falcon using frame counter, and it's something you see Wizzy use very often to close out kills. These pummels get Wizzy an extra 9% off these 2 grabs, and there's nothing Moki can do about it. That's a lot of guaranteed damage that would be lost if you didn't pummel. Check out my video on how to get more damage from grabs to learn more. This is probably the most optimal way to get out of reaction tech chases, but it's extremely difficult to space as the defender. Still though, one of your first go-to thoughts when getting reaction tech chased should be to get to the edge of the stage, because that's where the tech chases can be forced to end. Here's another example of the same thing, though this time without the tech. This is the same problem Moki had at the start of the set. Stomp has plenty of hit lag, so you should be able to mash SDI to get the tech easily and consistently. I have a ledge tech tutorial here. This is a variation of slide-off defensive strategies, where you do a neutral tech and let the move's natural knockback push you off. I don't really like this one as much, but it can work. Spacing moves on shield is another way to make them safe. Leffen also combined this with movement, like was previously mentioned, to be very far out of range when Hungrybox tried to punish with a grab, allowing Leffen to punish him. Hungrybox could have avoided losing his stock here if he option selected attack while going for the forward air that might have traded. All he had to do was press L or R during his forward air's startup and he would have lived, being a stock up at only 50%. Leffen ended up winning the set on his last stock at 160%. This one simple option select with virtually no downsides could have changed the outcome of this match in Hungrybox's favor. Leffen option selected attack during his side B as you always should with Fox, but if you just fall and up B later, it's almost a free edge guard for the puff. A wall jump tech, an instant side B, or an air dodge would be better. You could even option select all of these to give yourself the largest timing window possible. Leffen's recovery throughout this entire set was incredible. He varied his recoveries exceptionally well, allowing him to hold onto his stocks long enough to win the games. I will probably be making an analysis video solely on Leffen's recovery during this set because it was very good. Hungrybox is pretty good at air dodging out of Fox jabs, but the timing on these was different from a normal single jab, so it looks like he missed it here. It's possible to option select these air dodges by either double tapping air dodge using both shoulder buttons, or simply mashing both L and R, which could give him a larger timing window for getting out of this. This is a really smart option select from Hungrybox. He went for a grab, and because he saw Fox wave dashing around facing away from him, he expected an up tilt. However, because Hungrybox is at such a low percent, he option selected ASDI down to crouch cancel the up tilt, giving him an easy punish through shielding to cancel the crouch and pressing A to grab. This has pretty tight timing, requires a good wave dash, and may also require shield DI, but it's a great punish from Mango. This kind of punish is only possible with a very good wave dash, so make sure to practice your wave dashes. Because Falco's laser has stun and turns you around, typically Falcos aren't ready to get up tilted after a laser. However, if you hold this specific angle on your control stick, it buffers a turnaround the first frame, then all you have to do is press A to get an up tilt. This angle is both a turnaround and up tilt angle. I'll be analyzing the rest of the matches in a part 2 to this video released about a week from now. If you're wondering where I've been, check out the link at the bottom of the description. Thanks for watching.